The life finder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. We obviously first cast fell through, so right now we're going to be doing Yikes S tier versus Keanu Reeves. This will be Yikes S tier's first actual match this season, as they've got two kind of buys due to dropouts in the first couple weeks. What am I doing? Anyways, I'm just getting the lobby set up now, and we should be ready to go here shortly. Right. Should be getting everybody in here now. But let's bring up the overview so everyone can see. So bear with me a little bit today, guys. I'm in quite a bit of pain. I've been feeling quite sick the past couple days. Also getting some major gut pain, so you'll just have to bear with me. Alright, so I think Mason Blaze is the newest addition to S tier. Everyone's still filtering in. Keanu Reeves has had a pretty good start to the season. I don't think they've dropped a map yet, let alone a series. So they kind of are right now the team to beat. Okay. Now I'm about to have some disgusting cough medicine.
Are you in your stream already?
Yeah. Alrighty. Oh, I hate this stuff. So don't need that all. Oh, I hate this stuff. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. God, that's so gross. Oh, man. Oh, God. So bad. They're already here, babe. Yep. Just waiting for everybody to filter in, guys. So a little bit of a wait. We've got 4 from each team, basically. Just waiting for the last 2 to filter. I think that's Noblaze. Alright, so Ablaze. And ready to do. I just gotta wash down that disgusting stuff. Let's get a little hyped in chat though, guys. It's just about to start up a Rogue Division match, so. Blaze is in. Still just waiting on the last one here.
Other.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, for driving literally 5 minutes.
So just
Yeah.
gonna be
Yes, Yawners, I am dying on the stream tonight. It's probably gonna happen. Like I said, I'm quite sick. I just had to have some really nasty cough medicine. And yeah, still waiting for the last one to show up. Later. Got the message that he's incoming soon. I mean, I don't know what you're worried about, E-Day. I go, and you get to add MJ Doom or Wafflecopter to the roster, and I think that's probably an upgrade.
I figured
All right, everyone is filtered in. Ready? Let's see if we can get the readies. You guys have to decide who you want headed. They keep asking me to swap it around. Got the Joker hair going today. Ugh. Oh my god. Well, at least we're having fun.
Come on!
All right. Alrighty, into the game we go, folks. Let's see what we get. Should be a pretty...
Arthur! Damn it! Get away from the kitten, you jack!
Well, BOE. What do you think we're going to be banning here? Abathur is going to be taken off the board. I'm kind of surprised by that. I don't think Abathur is that big a deal on this map, but this is Heroic Division, so I expect most of these guys to know better than I do about what should be drafted. So, I mean, I guess you could run like a solo support Abathur on this map. That could work out fine. But, yeah, Anubrak's going to be removed. Maev's going to be removed. Really kind of interested to see 40% in Heroic Division. So picked quite often, but not super successful. Ana, on the other hand, is probably a bit of a different story. Li Ming is going to be our first pick of the night. Actually take a look at those stats. If I could actually get them where they're only for this map, that would be in and of itself. You see, not a huge pick, very high pick rate. Alarak, though. Curious to see what those are like. Not too great, actually. But we'll see if this is the first run. Rhonda, which is a good pickup. It gives you lots of advantage on this map when it comes to the race. Erden and Anduin. Erden is a good setup for Li Ming, not just on the objective, but also on for kills. So that's, I think, a good pickup here. And also, if he goes Sledgehammer, he has pretty good race on the objective itself. Oh, Greymaine's going to be banned. Just want to avoid having any of that extra tier race. He's upped himself in the meta, and he was always pretty good even on this map, even before the auto tech damage increase and movement speed upgrades. So now he's even more of a threat. Expect maybe Raynor to be picked up on either side. Could also be Hanzo. Diablo's going to go ahead and be picked and out.
Did you do?
No. Yeah. They're supposed to change it. Yeah, I changed it. I don't understand. That's kind of annoying. So Chromie's going to be picked up on this side of the map. not a huge surprise there. Chromie is actually quite strong, I think, when it comes down to the objective nowadays. And as a sort of counter, we're going to see Genji. Someone that can get onto that backline and dive. The Chromie, but it's going to be a risky endeavor as Chromie has lots of ways to disengage with her own time traps and Blaze time traps in her stop time. But there you go, guys. That is going to be our Game 1 draft. Post in the chat which way you think this is gonna go. Let's get her in. Yeah, the Blaze seems somewhat tame, but he has been saying quite a bit recently that Blaze is definitely something that he thinks is strong in the meta now, and I guess we'll see how it all pans out. So starting out game number 1, we have Yikes S tier on the blue side. We have Cubico on the Tyrande, Shredder Doof on the ETC, Mason Blaze on the Alarak, Jed on the Chromie, John Knight 1 on the Blaze. And on the other side, we have Keanu Reeves in the red, are balanced on the Irel, a Blaze on the Anduin, Kelsier on the Li Ming, Zinaris playing Genji, and my pal Vince on the Murden. Just observing a bit of the opening handshake, as I like to say. With the Chromie, I'd say slightly favored in the wave clear, but both teams haven't really focused a ton on getting like superly good wave clear heroes. But that's okay. It is Battlefield of Eternity, not nearly as important. Pop up the talents. We're going to see Alara going into we might actually have to remake, as I kind of forgot to actually push this to a better. See how everybody feels about being on Western. Seems like everybody's okay with it, but I'll make sure I get it switched back to Central. My bad, folks. I'm perfectly fine with remaking, but yeah, if everybody's cool with this setup, then that's what we're gonna go with. So ETC getting poked out pretty hard here, but it still looks like they're going to be able to maintain control over this, and I think that the camp is still going to go towards Yikes S tier. Lots of poke damage going on to Mason Blaze, but not enough to really secure a kill. We see Mount Vince seeing if he can scope out that, but decides to back away so he doesn't get hit by any of the return damage. And again, things have been pretty standard for the most part. Let's take a look at how top is going for the moment, and it looks like pretty standard Rel versus Blaze setup. We're going to show a force on Alarak. Time troubles for Chromie. Interesting, just trying to get more armor reduction ally. I think this is kind of the meta talent. So John Knight deciding that he needs to go back before the objective comes up, and we still see a slight experience advantage, I think because of that camp from Yikes S tier. We are not going to be seeing Sledgehammer, which is a shame. So mostly for the engagement. Good slide plus pull in and combo there by Mason Blaze, puts a lot of pressure onto Genji. Initial poke where is going to go in favor of Yikes S tier. And it looks like my pal Vince is going to get deleted there. There was a bit of a mis-synergy with the time trap actually stopping the combo from coming through, but still was in a pretty bad spot. And a nice follow-up stun and a good leap of faith keeping Ming alive there. It could have been quite a scary picture had that connected. So we're going to see Blaze rotate top, clear up the rest of this camp here. It's already going to go down. In fact, he doesn't even need to be here, and he realizes that he's actually come down here for defense instead. Keanu Reeves is going to posture themselves on the defensive side and see if they can slow down this pressure coming out from Yikes S tier. Reeves doing a really good job of zoning everybody out, making sure that all the pressure comes onto him alone. Genji's going to get into the backline there. It's going to drop us protected just to see if we can get a little bit extra of damage coming out, but nothing really happens there. But they do manage to push Yikes S tier off of the Immortal for the time being, but Chromie's just going to get a bunch of free poke from this side, and there's really not a whole lot they can do to stop it. And my pal Vince also getting caught out a little bit by the extra CC. His stun almost landing from Blaze there. That could have been a major problem for him. And we can see Balance getting right on top of Cubico, trying to put a little bit of pressure in there. But now Mason Blaze is in a bit of trouble, but he has a nice little boop, gets himself out of there. Still taking a lot of pressure. I mean, the amount of damage coming in from Keanu Reeves is quite good, but unfortunately I think they overextended, and that's going to be Balanced going down. Arel dropping low, getting picked off, and that's an almost full health Immortal from Yikes S tier.
To me, mortals, I march for Hell's Gates.
Everyone went back for Beast. There's going to be a bit of free poke here for Keanu Reeves. Not sure that this is going to get a whole lot more than the front wall. Maybe a little bit of damage on the fort given the slow-ish rotation from Yikes S tier after that big battle over the Immortal to begin the game. But you do see the first wall going down. The pressure is coming right onto the fort. And I don't know, with Chromie damage, they might be able to put it in, but it's not really putting it onto the keep. And it looks like it's going to be enough. That fort's going to go down. And that's where it'll end. John Knight's just going to pop down here, but we're going to see a little bit of rotation interruption here by the 4-man from Yikes S tier. They're going to put a little bit of pressure onto Murd, and he's going to leap out and be perfectly fine. I mean, you see a 5-man in the bottom looking for this camp. Just going to swap lanes. Blaze is going to go back top. Shredded, just making sure they can't poke in through this area. Time traps all over the place, making any type of engagement, unless it's over the wall, which is still a risky endeavor as that's using his one escape tool. So that's just going to be easy camp for Yikes S tier as well. So 2 kills, first Immortal, first 2 camps. Bot lane camps, and I'd say Yikes S tier has a slight advantage in this game. Doing their best to move these Khazra camps up and kind of poke down this tower, and it's going to be an extra 150 experience for Yikes S tier, taking that tower down. So now the rotation's going to come out, go right back into getting the camp from each side. And we're seeing the initial spawns are pretty much where they were to begin with, in the middle of the map. Shredded Oof going to come down here and just try to soak up a bit more EXP. maybe get themselves to 10 before they hard commit.
Cower before me.
But the engagement, 5-man coming in from Keanu Reeves there, trying to catch Yikes S tier in rotation before they hit 10s, but now they are 10s, and we're going to see a pull in there onto my pal Vince. He's going to drop below 300 health, but he is going to be able to get out using, but not fully, and now Anduin and Muradin are both going to go down. It looks like Balance is also probably going to die here. That's a 3-for-0 trade by Yikes S tier. They're just going to clean that fight up, and they'll get halftime pretty easy here on the Immortal. Blaze is just going to pop top, make sure that he deals with this camp, and it still hasn't gotten any more than a front wall. Meanwhile, this, because the wall was already down, it actually got some structure damage in, and that is going to be where the Immortal is going to be going, but we're probably going to see a re-engagement from Yikes S tier. And oof, that's kind of not a great spawn location for them. In fact, I think they're just going to go to see if they can burn a little bit of this down, as going to the other side of the map there after just barely hitting 10s is just not going to be a viable strategy. So they're going to get it down pretty good, about 12,000, about 13,000 health left on it. A bit of engagement coming around to ETC. It's going to get knocked back, but so much healing just coming through, keeping him alive. We're going to see the light bomb on Zenaris getting onto Mason Blaze into the backline, plus a X-Strike, but the X-Strike doesn't land on anyone. And now Balance is going to be rooted out. We're going to see a mosh pit come onto my pal Vince, but the kill is still only on a Rel. The rest disengage appropriately, and now they're going to have to try to defend yet again with Li Ming and Genji, with the full team of Yikes tier actually here. And we can see a bunch of CC coming on my pal Vince. He does not have an E left up, and he is going to get pulled out by Anduin. But a great stun coming out from Blaze is actually going to drop him down, and A Blaze is about to go down. He has 300 health, but he does manage to dodge any of the follow-up damage there. And this thing is still pretty much full health Immortal. The shield is gone, so they have poked away at least a good portion of this. Rel's going to jump in there, try to be able to knock everything out, dropping the Ardent Defender to keep herself alive. Blaze was a really good bunker, though, to make sure that that back didn't actually do any major damage. They do get the kill on Alarak, though. So finally, we see Keanu Reeves get onto the board after taking, looks like 2 out, because Cubico's probably going to die here. So 6-2 in kills, but this Immortal got a lot of value onto the structure, and this is an almost dead keep from the second. So a bit of life, a bit of damage coming out finally for Keanu Reeves, getting onto the board. And those kills are going to allow them to get a little bit of map control, so they don't have to give up this camp again to Yikes S tier. Bit of a small saving grace here, but a good thing nonetheless. And it looks like we're sharking around with 13s. Let's see if they can get a little bit of poke damage coming out onto Yikes S tier, but they're definitely going to put a little bit back to Kelsier there. Camp and top pushing in. And it looks like they're just going to see if they can grab this Genji, though no stuns actually do land on it. Now the re-engagement's coming back in, and I think Yikes S tier might have overextended a little bit here. Both frontliners getting poked out quite a bit. ETC trying to get himself out. Lots of slows, though, being in place by Blaze, making sure that they can't get an easy engagement. And 13s are about to be got by Keanu Reeves, and they're going to have the faster rotation onto this camp due to the positioning of Yikes S tier. So they should have the camp out faster. It looks like that will be the case. And Immortals spawn onto the defensive side, so I think this is good for Keanu Reeves, as they just got 13s, they just got that camp pushed out. This will give them the space to clear out this top camp, which actually ended up getting a top tower. Pretty good, considering that will be where the Immortal is going to be going if Yikes Esther wins the next one. So just getting the quick clear on the camp there in the bot lane. Looks like Blaze wanted to do the same thing, but they're instead going to go for the poke instead, disengage, and then probably clear out. That seems to be the case. But they still haven't been able to get that clear onto it, and the pressure is now coming in from Keanu Reeves. They're smelling their advantage here if they can hold them, get some good poke in. Yeah, Blaze has to clear this because the top fort towers are now going down, and as soon as they see Blaze split, we're going to see the aggression coming out from Keanu Reeves. And a great dive in with Light Bomb from Genji, but that's a 4-man mosh pit. What a play from Shredded Oof. Just waited for everything to go down. Saw them all grouped up, hit his R key, and that's 3 kills for Yikes S tier. Genji finds his way out. We're going to start seeing the pressure being applied to the Immortal here. And in fact, we're going to see Jet and Shredded Oof do their best to actually poke out this bottom keep. But the Anduin dueling was just too much for him to actually handle it, so they had to actually get out. Halftime shows up. Everyone is back. No major heroics left other than Slowing Sands, Ardent Defender. And so now we have to see. There goes the Light Bomb onto 5. That's still a huge engagement, but there was no X-Strike follow-up after that, so the burst damage was somewhat limited. And the follow-up just wasn't quite where it needed to be for that to actually fully get the value they're looking for. And now we see Genji in a really bad spot. I don't know if he's going to be able to get out. No, the follow-up stuns are fantastic, and that's going to actually be a Genji popped. Ardent Defender being dropped on Rel, just trying to keep her alive, but it looks like she's still getting knocked back really hard. Cooldown reduction on that knockback from ETC. Really making it difficult for Irel to get out of there, and that's going to be another kill. So another 2 deaths from Keanu Reeves. And Yikes S tier just really wants this fort. And they're gonna get it. They're gonna get the bottom keep. Top keep is gonna get pushed by almost full health Immortal.
Corruption hellspawn. I will bring down.
And now the defense is gonna come up in the top lane. Full rotation from Yikes S tier into the top lane just to see if they can poke out this fort. 16-14 advantage. 11-2 kills. This Immortal still has an incredible amount of health on it, and I think that, especially if they get a pick off of any of this engagement, it's going to be the end of the game. But even without one, the fact that the Immortal is still almost full health is still a scary situation. We see, actually, Irel getting knocked way back into the Light Bomb coming back out onto the, again, that Light Bomb dive is really good, but the follow-up Mosh Pit onto 2, Zenaris having to be saved by the Anduin Leap of Faith, and that's still going to be Anduin and Mirrodin going down off of just some fantastic mosh pits from Shredded Oof. And that's going to be game number 1. Yikes S tier taking a commanding lead and not really letting it go throughout game 1. GG. There's your statistics for the match. A lot of pressure being applied by Li Ming, but a lot of the poke damage just being absorbed by the front line. And while those were really good engagements with Light Bomb from Genji, in the end, the follow-up mosh pits really did a lot of work, and Irel just kind of got wrecked in a lot of those situations, especially with all the knockbacks, all the stuns. She just couldn't get in and out reliably in a lot of situations, so... Very well done from Yikes S tier in game number 1. I'll pop up the talent screen one more time for everybody, and then I'll put us to a break while I figure out where we do. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the stream. Here we are, getting into game number 2. We will be going to Towers of Doom. That is the map choice from Keanu Reeves. Looking for the equalizer here. Everyone seems to have been filtered in. We're just waiting on the last two. I think we'll be getting right into the second game here. Already got the ready check coming in from Keanu Reeves. You have the sirens going off in the background. As we know things are in trouble now. Absolutely. Yep, it's the ambulance coming to take me away. Okay, got the ready check from both sides. And here we are, Towers of Doom, game number 2. In and out of lobbies, nice and fast. I'm liking how this is going. And let's see what is going to be the map or the bans this round. Abathur was banned by Keanu Reeves last time, so I'm actually would be surprised to see if that is going to be the case this round. Especially with first pick on the table, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. And yeah, it looks like that is going to be what is banned out. Abathur removed. Special Weapons Assault Team. Nubarak being banned out again for another round, and we're going to see Zeratul being removed. Despite the nerfs, I think he's still in a good spot. Still a dangerous hero in the right hand, so removing that here and now, probably the wise choice coming out from Keanu Reeves. So what is the first pick power going to bring? And we're going to get Sylvanas. Sylvanas has been a very powerful pick in almost every division so far. I'm actually going to check the stats to see how good she's done in this one. And yep, very popular and very successful. So Tehran going to the other side. It's a good choice. Anna's out of the way, so you have Tehran, you have Anduin, you have Malfurion, who tends to be floating at the top. Lucio as well. So Tehran going to be picked up, as well as Jaina. And Jaina is probably considered the strongest mage, especially on maps where you rotate and wave clear. But I'm not entirely certain how effective she's been this season. 38% win rate despite a very large 72% popularity rate. So despite being super popular, has not really been winning the games. We're going to see Johanna Tychus. So looking to burn down any of heavy frontliners they decide to pick up. And Johanna, just your standard good tank. And also, it's also good to deny from the other side, especially if you don't want to use your ban on it, because the blinds are pretty good at Tychus. And so is the shield. So ETC going to the other side. Not a big surprise here, as ETC was a massive problem to deal with in game number 1. We're going to see Thrall picked up. Thrall is definitely seeing much more in the meta these days. So, in fact, I'm curious to see what. 17% popularity, so still not super popular, but definitely is still maintaining a good win rate. Not a bad choice, and Blaze is going to be picked up yet again. The Anduin going to the other side this time. And that's going to be responded to with a Malthael by Xenaris. So, Malthael and Thrall. Generally would say, yeah, things are going to get swapped around there. Anti-troll tool. Those are your teams. Not a heavy front line, but Tychus can still get pretty good value into how much melee they do have, as they have quite a bit. 3 of their 5 heroes are mainly melee heroes. And even Jaina generally doesn't have a ridiculous amount of long-range poke. She's mostly a close-range hero. But we'll just have to see how game number 2 pans out. Looking for the 2-0 domination we have on the side. On the blue, Yikes S tier, Cubico on Anduin, Jet on Sylvanas, John Knight 1 on Blaze, Shredded Oof playing Johanna, and Mason Blaze playing the Tychus. And on the right-hand side of the map, in the red, we have Xenaris and Thrall, my pal Vince on ETC, Kelsier on the Jaina, a Blaze on the Tyrande, and Balanced on the Malthael. And my wife is right. Chat is super quiet. Needs to be a little bit more active here, guys. We're already into game 2, and we haven't seen much chat since game 1. So let's up those numbers. So opening handshake, slide attempt onto Johanna is traded through. Lots of poke damage put onto my pal Vince and Blaze. Wave clear is pretty much even. Malthael and Blaze are going to duel away up here in the top lane. And we're going to see Sylvanas go down here. I almost caught it in time. Looks like we got a good engagement, plus follow-up roots from Xenaris, allowing them to get the pick on to Sylvanas. So, actually, first blood going to Keanu Reeves in game number 2. Malthael using that on the pale horse to get those quick rotations. They're actually going to do a 5-man rotate right to here to this camp. Get a nice little advantage there. They're going to miss a wave for it. And we're actually going to see the rest of the rotate coming through. The camp does get captured. They do not full commit to a re-engage here. But they are able to grab the camp up here. So it's not going to get any value. It's just going to allow them to get the camp, plus a little bit of experience that the camp gives you. Deny it from Yikes S tier, and they'll rotate back over and get their own. Jet's just going to try to clear out the mid lane. Balance is going to put a little bit of pressure onto him while Blaze deals with the top lanes clear as well. And rotation seemed to be a bit in favor of Keanu Reeves. It looks like they're going to be able to push this in. Oh, it does get stalled out at the wall by Sylvanas. One little cheat code from Sylvanas there, being able to stall out the minions before they can get to the wall. They're going to put a lot of pressure in here. We do get John Knight rotates in. Puts a bit of pressure onto them, but no kills are generated from that rotation. A little bit of poke damage put onto Blaze as he rotates back up to the top lane just to see if he can get the tap. It looks like Blaze is going to be pushed off of his own. They're going to use the fact that Malthael has a bit of an advantage with Die Alone, but the pressure coming in onto my pal Vince might be too much. Johanna having to does get rooted and pushed in, and so it's pretty even trade for the most part. Actually, health bars are pretty low generally across the board for Yikes S tier, so this might actually be going in favor. Although it still remains to get stunned out. John Knight just stalling this out as much as possible, just hoping his team can win the fight down in the bottom lane, and then they can make the rotation up to the top lane to allow him to be able to get the channel. But it looks like the pressures that can be putting on Shredded Oof are quite significant, and they're not going to be able to get a lot counter, and it looks like they are going to get the channel they need there. So does the rotation from Yikes S tier come out fast enough to get the pick onto balanced tier? And I think that might be a yes. The rest of the team isn't going to be here in time, but he's just going to stall out. Probably just try to stay alive. And he is going to die, though. I think with that kill, they probably want to just back off of this, but it looks like they are going to pressure up. Reddit Oof getting a lot of pressure, and they're actually going to be able to channel this. I don't think the stall's going to come in, but they did lose 2, maybe 3 heroes here. And so they should be able to go onto the other side of the map and get this. But we'll see if they manage to make it there in time. Looks like they do. So it's still going to be a 2-for-1. Though Malthael is back, so I don't know if this is going to be an easy channel for Yikes S tier. So they might just have to give it up. But Balanced gets picked apart and does go down. They do trade out. And yeah, I think they're just going to have to let this go, and that's going to be 3 channels for Keanu Reeves. Really getting the advantage when it comes down to these shots. Now, kills and experience are definitely in favor of Yikes S tier, and this is Towers of Doom, so they've got plenty of time to come back, but really well played. The strategy there of, well, Blaze can't duel a Malthael, so let's put him over onto the other side. And the bot lane did not go in Yikes S tier's favor, so because those 2 things happened, the rotation didn't come out fast enough. And they got a good zoning job, especially with a little bit of the kill delay on Malthael. Allowed them to be able to get all 3 of those shots, and that's a really good job there. First camp's finally being picked up by Yikes S tier. They're going to try to use the Merc Queen to push them in. Mason Blaze getting a little bit of pressure, but he does manage to E himself out of trouble. Good leap of faith keeping Jet alive, and the rotation coming in from Malthael was too fast. And they're going to be able to clear this up and attempt to push this in again. We do still have Sylvanas, who's probably still going to be able to just delete this this camp, so they're not going to be able to push this in. Blaze has to watch out. Rotation is going to be coming in from Keanu Reeves. And we're still just going to see them posture aggressive here. See if they can pick off the Blaze if he steps out too far. Catch him in the rotation through this channel. They're going to spot it out, though. I don't know if going in for this is going to be full on. We don't have the tank, though. Thrall's going to get the easy channel, and then they're going to be able to 5-man into this. So I don't know. It looks like they're going to get the delay. 10s are in favor of Yikes S tier, and they're going to use that and go right into it. Silence Arrow coming out onto Sylvana, or onto Jaina and ETC, but just not enough lockdown in place to actually secure the kills. They're going to be able to get the channel still an advantage for Keanu Reeves. So we're going to try to narrow that down a little bit by grabbing a quick boss here by Yikes S tier, using that slight advantage they had in experience to be able to secure this point. Now, we know the rotation is going to be a bit slow, so we can see Keanu Reeves pushing up this bottom lane, doing their best to, but we can see Johanna actually having to trach through all of that and is probably going to die now because of it. Probably a bad rotation. Full front wall is going to go down and an extra kill, so Keanu Reeves looking a little bit stronger in this game than they did in the last, and now we're at even talent tiers, almost even in kills. Structure damage is a slight advantage for sure for Keanu Reeves, and they're probably going to be able to grab this fort. Now the pick attempt on Malthael in the mid lane does not quite net them what they were looking for. He's just going to rotate up to the top lane and heal up off the wave. The aggression coming in, we see Earthquake being dropped, but it's just not enough to peel out ETC, and he's going to go down here. Camp was captured, though, I think, although they're continuing the aggression from Yikes S tier, trying to see if they can pop that Jaina, and they do. That's going to be a kill in their favor. It was a good camp pickup by Keanu Reeves. Now they're just going to channel this through and then probably go back down with the camp to steal back their... Zanaris tries to poke in, though, to delay a little bit longer. While Malthael gets the camp and is pushing in the top lane. So slight experience advantage for... Oh, wow. And Blaze barely making it under the tower in time. Not dying there. So we can see a little bit of poke damage coming out here. They're able to turn off the fort using the Sylvanas trait. We're going to see my pal Vids looking for some positioning, though, to see if they can get on top of Sylvanas. They're just going to push up here. You know that the rotation from Tron is going to be a little bit slow. The fort does not go down quite yet. So, despite the extra kills, Keanu Reeves still in a commanding position in this game. They're heading XP. They're behind in kills, but they're heading XP and they're heading structures. And those tend to matter more on this map. Zanaris looking to be caught out a bit here. He does drop Earthquake to keep himself alive, and Jeddah is actually going to take a lot of counter damage. You see the Mosh Pit plus Power Slide coming through and actually securing the kills, and now we're evened up in kills. Things not looking so great for Yikes S tier, and that's going to be a 4-for-0 trade.
Prepare yourselves, heroes.
With another objective coming up, camp getting cleared out here by Blaze, or sorry, by Balanced. Blaze just going to try to keep rotating and see if he can catch up some of the missing experience here. He's got to be careful because they are looking for him. See the aggression coming out into the mid lane. The bottom fort is pretty low. They are looking to see if they can kind of clear up the mid lane here. There's a 4-man rotation into that, and it's going to help distract them from getting the bottom fort. Zanaris is going to get the capture. They are going to poke them out and make sure that they don't secure this. And we're going to see Jet doing his best to try to shut down this fort, get the damage onto this structure. The rotation does come in time, but it does come. All the engagement comes out onto Johanna. Fort is still alive. Blaze and friends trying to use the fire to do that, and it's actually Malthael that goes down here, but it is going to be Endo and going to be traded for that. There's no more bunker for John Knight 1, so he's going to die here, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 trade for Keanu Reeves. Crash Lightning did get completed. This fort is almost dead. Like, it's flat pretty much gonna die here soon. I don't know if they can really protect it on another aggression from
I have opened a tunnel.
Yikes S tier, but the fact that they lost 3 or 2 in that engagement means that this mid fort's gonna go down, and things are going from bad to worse for Yikes S tier. So despite having such a commanding lead in game number 1, looks like game number 2 is going to be going, it looks to be in favor of Keanu Reeves.
Destroyed a fort.
Bottom fort recaptured, mid fort traded out,
Has taken a town.
15 to 16. Next objective is spawning. There's the triple ultra phase. And if they get all 3 of them on the side of Keanu Reeves, this is going to be only 4 shots left on the core, which is scary, especially with boss up, is actually a pretty scary situation for Yikes S tier to be in. So they're trying to bring down this fort as fast as they possibly can. Bunch of pressure coming out onto Shredded Oof. He does get Leap of Faith out, so he does not drop there. And as the ultas are about to activate, we're going to see
Disappoint.
Keanu Reeves split, grab the mid one. The XS tier is really only concerned about getting theirs, but there's a lot of pressure here on each side, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get it. It looks like the engagement's actually coming out onto Xenaris, but he does manage to drop the root and get out of dodge. So 16 to 17. We'll have to see if no, they don't decide to actually go for it. Instead, they know that they've got the rotational advantage, so they're just gonna go pressure out the bot lane. You see the siege already coming through. The rotations from Yikes S tier coming down, but I don't know if it's gonna be in time to stop this fort from going down. But a commanding lead from Keanu Reeves, structurally and in shots. 9 shots to 25. 9 kills to 7. 17 to 16. And they're just not giving Yikes S tier any easy fights. They're just rotating around the map, making them clear things, go other places, and it looks like Yikes S tier has decided, well, fine, if you're going to focus top, we're just going to focus bot. Although with that camp pushing the top lane, if that goes down before the camp hits, it's going to be 2 shots they may not rotate up to in time to stop from going in, and that's going to be a bit problematic for Yikes S tier, but I think they're willing to sacrifice it as long as they can secure this bot fort. Boss is going to be picked up by Keanu Reeves, so they're just really playing the macro very, very well. Maintaining that lead. Giving up things here and there, but 4 shots plus another 2 is actually going to bring them down to 3. And that means that this is a endgame situation if they lose even 1 shrine by Yikes S tier. So they're really going to have to fight hard. And they're looking for that fight. Triple stun onto 3. Anduin gets the extra root. Another root comes out onto him, and now he's in really big trouble. We do see the Protector come out, keeps him alive, but we're also going to see a mosh pit coming through, and that's going to kill 2 of them. And I think this is going to be the end of the game for game number 2. Keanu Reeves really coming out in game number 2 saying, hey, we're not going to lose here, guys. That's their map of choice, and that's going to be GG. Alrighty, those are your end of game statistics. We'll be looking at the talents really quickly here as well. And then I'll be popping us to a quick break while I sort out things with the teams. Welcome back, everybody. We are here for game number 3 between Yikes S tier and Keanu Reeves. It has definitely been a back and forth series, Battlefield Eternity, going pretty heavily in favor of Yikes S tier, but you could definitely say the same thing about Keanu Reeves in game number 2 on Towers of Doom. So, to round out this match, we're going to be going to Alterac Pass. This is also going to be a choice by Keanu Reeves, as Yikes S tier did opt for first pick off the loss. So, that's where we'll be headed. Everybody is getting into the lobby, and I will sort out the teams appropriately. And then I think we are good to go. Let's just see. Everybody know? And just like that, we're into game number 3, folks. Alterac Pass. So first pick didn't quite work out for Yikes S tier in the last game. Let's see if it actually works out for them in this one instead. Considering how quiet the chat is, you'd think there was nobody here. But there's still 10 viewers. Let's see if we can get a little bit more activity going there in the chat. Keep calling it out. No one's doing it. So pretty much the same bands on both sides of the map, albeit the order is a little bit different. Abathur and Zeratul, and we're gonna get first pick Junkrat. And that is going to give up Sylvanas to the other side of the map, with a follow-up to Ronda to that. So Sylvanas is quite strong here. It's an interesting thing to give up right off the bat. However, Sylvanas was not adding to that win rate last game, so we'll see how it goes for them this round. ETC being picked up nice and early by Shredded Oof. He is 2 for 2, so it's ETC probably still being that major player here in NGS Season 7. All with the Li Ming, so I mean they're gonna have endless stall on this objective. Not great camp clear, but really good stall. But ETC is definitely going to set up a lot of kill potential with Jet. We're going to see Dahaka Band again. Keeping that global out of the way. Diablo getting banned, and it's a pretty good idea, since later on Diablo can really pressure Junkrat. Something I found out in my own game on this map, and you know, had they not had something like Diablo able to sit there and dive hard onto the backline or interrupt with APOC, we probably could have pulled off a win there. But Alas, it was not meant to be, and it looks like Yikes S tier are realizing that Diablo could be a major threat here, so that Stitches is going to be picked up in Thrall yet again. Stitches is an interesting pickup, not something that you see a lot of. In fact, this is the first map in the Heroic Division that he's actually been picked, and we're going to see Rel coming out, so... John Knight coming off of the Blaze and onto a Rel instead. That's going to be responded to with the Leoric. There you go, folks. That is your... Oh, and Lucio, sorry, on the other side. I didn't notice. That's going to be your Game 3 draft there. Let me know in the comments, in the chat section, in Twitch chat, who you think is going to be coming out with the victory here on Alterac Pass. Game number 3. Here we go. Alrighty, here we are, looking for their first technical win of the season. Yikes S tier. Jet on Li Ming, Mason Blaze on the Junkrat, Shredded Oof on the ETC, Cubico on the Lucio, and John Knight 1 on Aurel. And on the other side, we have Yana Reeves, balanced on the Leoric, my pal Vince playing Stitches, a Blaze on Tyrande, Benaris back on the Thrall, and Kelsier playing the Sylvanas. There we go. Opening handshake, 5v5 in the mid. See who can clear faster, who comes out on top, see if there's any early kills. Nothing really happening so far. Knight 1 gets super low, a little bit of extra damage onto the other two targets, but Thrall already making the quick rotation. He's going to see if he can get a quick amount of damage onto Jet, and he does. No root thrown out. Was probably looking to bait it out, but knowing the rotation was coming in, decides to leave it. And we're going to see Junkrat and ETC rotate immediately to the camp. So, Yorick having a bit of an advantage here. Rel just clearing at the towers. Doesn't really matter how much damage she takes from the minions, though. She can heal up most of it. And the camp rotation is definitely in favor of Yikes S tier. They're going to get it first, but Sylvanas is on the other team, and that's the one thing that makes this a bit rough. Benaris getting collapsed upon the mine, I think, saving his butt. It actually kept him alive there, unfortunately. And we see Kelsier just coming out into the middle of the lane here, poking out as fast as possible, trying to get this this kill as quickly as they can. A 4-man rotate into the mid. They really don't want any of these camps to get super good value, so both teams being super cautious, making sure that either team gets a major advantage from the camps pushing it, because they do minus 20 on structures, which is just incredibly strong. And are still looking to heal up going Crash Lightning again. Does land a root onto Jet. Puts a significant amount of damage onto Li Ming there. We'll be able to heal up the rest of the way, so I think Jet needs to be a bit careful here because Zin's just going to keep putting that pressure onto Li Ming. Not exactly the best landing assignment for him, but Knight 1 on the other hand is doing pretty well into Leoric in the top lane. The clear's in Leoric's favor for now, but it's not significantly so. Really, this lane isn't doing a whole lot. But we can see the first rotation coming out. That faster camp clear really probably netting out a bit of an advantage here for Yikes S tier. Now, I think they've been sacrificing a bit of experience for this. Which I guess is okay as long as they don't lag too far behind. Keanu Reeves already starting on their own. Looks like Leoric's just going to posture up here in the mid lane to see if he can clear this out for free. Knight's going to rotate in as well, though. And we do get a kill onto Thrall. I didn't notice that he got back here. I assume he got hit by a Junkrat Mine. My bad. I should have actually been watching that rotation there from Yikes S tier. So with that kill on Thrall, actually, things are going to look pretty strong in favor. But this mid camp is going to be a problem as they go up. But they should be able to get the first channel. Man, I don't know if they're going to get a full channel out of this. But they should get a significant amount of seconds off the clock regardless, as they do have advantage. A nice Junkrat Mine onto Kelsier is actually going to secure a kill. But Cubico kind of in a bad spot here. I'm not entirely certain how he gets himself out of here. He's just going to kind of be back behind the team. He's going to try to zoom around the edge here, but I don't think it's going to work out. He's going to die. But it was enough to stall out the objective capture, and that's going to actually allow them to be able to get the first objective of the game. So really good Junkrat play. Mine finding Kelsier under his feet, knocking him into a bad position. And that really kind of kept them from being able to get the stall. Shredderdoof's going to come in and give Jet a bit of a hand here. As Zanaris, understanding where the threat was coming from, drops a root onto Shredderdoof. Junkrat's just going to stay below and put a lot of pressure onto it, but it looks like Kelsier's actually going to get the kill onto him as he mistimed the mine. Misplaced it and wasn't able to actually get the launch back from it, so he actually goes down. So 2 for 2 so far for and yeah, we're gonna see the attempt to get a flank onto the backline here. Shredderdoof was ready for it though. Drops a nice slide, make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. So front walls are down in almost every lane. Actually, not. Yeah, front walls are down, and one tower and the top and bottom lanes are gone. 2 towers are still remaining, and my chat is still super quiet. I guess my low energy due to being sick is must be moving on, and we're gonna see an invade, a 5-man invade from Keanu Reeves here. See if they can steal this camp from underneath the feet of Yikes S tier, but the rotation is in, and Irel is here, and that's going to make it kind of hard to secure this spot. All 5 are in this spot. Does get a good mine. Nice hammer. Make sure that doesn't happen. Zanaris in a bit of a spot, but he is actually getting a lot of pressure onto Jet. Balance really stealing it, but it is, yeah, that is going to be Thrall going down. I thought he was in a pretty bad spot. And Jet kited him enough to be able to get the kill, and the problem with the kills with Li Ming is once it happens, it's gonna turn into more than just one. And we saw a lot of that right then and there, and so that's gonna be 5 kills for nothing. Camp's still gonna go in favor of Yikes S tier. And it's gonna be a free boss for them in the bot lane. Now bosses aren't gonna do a whole lot, especially early bosses. But, you know, you might as well get advantages where you can. And since they know they're not going to be able to get a rotation here in time to stop this from happening, it's just gonna be channeled through that mid camp, getting some pressure in here. It's probably going to take this well. These are incredibly hard to clear out. They're quite tough. And again, they do -8 or more, you know. They can get up to -20 on the forts themselves, which is significant. And Kelsier getting caught a bit in rotation. Shredder Doof looking to see if he can get a power slide onto the Sylvanas there. Stitch is dropping Putrid Bile just to help with the peel. And unfortunately that's down, so bottom four's going to go down, and now My Pal Vince might be in a bit of a bad spot. Arella's here, gets the knockback, we get a two-man mosh pit, gets the kill onto Ronda. I think Kelsier is also going down, so that's a 2-0. Bosch is still pushing, and you know, yeah, if you're Yikes S tier, you might as well just keep pushing. You got those 2 kills. There's not a lot of clear left up for you except for Thrall, and it's not going to be. And look at My Pal Vince now getting power slid, getting run down really hard here. Shredder Doof just making tons of plays on the ETC. I'm really going to have to make the mention again that this season ETC has been a big factor in most games, and this is no exception. And in this matchup in particular, he's won both the first and second games. So if they get a third victory here, you know, that's really going to be saying quite a bit about ETC priority. Been seeing a lot of new Brack bans, but I'm wondering if ETC might need to be the new ban. And it's so weird because right after the tank changes to ETC, no one was picking him up right immediately. It's only been since this last patch that it seems that everyone has gone for it. But he just survives through a lot of things. The movement speed allows his engagement to work really well, and it really is kind of a tank meta now. So I think when it is tank meta, ETC really tends to skyrocket to the top. So I think Keanu Reeves was kind of looking at the top boss. They might have just been checking it just to make sure that that Yikes S tier was not on it. But instead it's just going to be camps. We're going to see Sylvanas rotate into the mid lane. It's going to try to boost this camp up and push and stop this one from pushing. Even just a few seconds of that might be enough to make sure that the camp ends up winning the lane. But in the unfortunate part of that is they do have to give up a bit of this channel here on the objective to do so. And now we see them try to get a bunch of damage onto ETC. A hook comes in, does land on him, but just look at that. He's still only at half health despite all those cooldowns being dropped onto it. And the XS tier was really just disengaging. We're going to get the first channel coming in from Keanu Reeves, but they're going to have to disengage immediately as they don't want to get rotated on. We see the Earthquake going down. The Rel jumping right onto the backline, dropping the Sacred Ground. He's just going to run right up on top of them using that level 7 talent, which is actually quite good. 5% passive movement speed, Righteous Momentum, plus the W not slowing down is actually a really good positional tool. You do manage to get the kill onto Leoric, so he goes down. Benaris now in a bit of trouble. He is surrounded, but he does manage to squeak his way somehow out of trouble. And they're still going to continue to poke this out despite Leoric being down. But the pressure is starting to mount, and I don't think they're going to be able to stall this for long. Mason Blaze taking quite a bit of damage from the Sylvanas, and it is going to be Stitches that dies here as well. So another kill for Yikes S tier. And this is looking similar to game number 1, where just the amount of the team fights just generally going in favor of Yikes S tier on any of these objectives. You know, they're not able to just macro an advantage. That's a big bot lave. Wow, this thing is going to push up onto the fort. Now it can't kill this thing with only one keep down, and no damage to the core is permanent. But it's still a huge wave. That thing's mounted up really hard. This bottom lane is a real problem. We can see Yikes S tier actually still split. I think they're just having Junkrat do a little bit of poke damage into the top lane, and then he should rotate into the mid. Yeah, he's going to use Ripper Air to just reposition himself back into the mid lane, because what they want to do is get the second fort, or the second keep on this push. And with the second keep down, they can legitimately go for a core call. But lots of damage coming out on ETC. In fact, so much so that Sound Barrier has to be dropped. Riptire being dropped onto 3, though. And that's going to be a lot of poke damage onto both Kelsier and Ablaze. Core already taking damage from the first, but this mid siege is going slowly enough that they're not going to be able to probably end off of this objective. Realizing this is the case, we're going to see the rotation coming out from Yikes S tier to the top lane, and they're going to just see if they can actually push down this top lane that has full wave, and has a still a good percentage of the objective still up. And they get any kills off of this, then they can actually push in for an appropriate engagement. We see Mosh Pit dropping onto 2 targets. They do get the kill onto Stitches, and Sylvanas goes down right after that. But Jet does get picked off, so I think that's going to be the end of the aggression. The fact that Li Ming did go down and the health bars are super low on the side of Yikes S tier means they can't finish off the game here, which I don't think they really could without earlier kills and getting a keep for sure. But they still have 16 tier advantage and a man advantage. They are going to steal this camp. And with this camp, though, I mean, these camps are so strong. They should be able to actually push into this, and they might be able to grab the mid keep. If at the very least, even if they don't get the mid keep, they're going to at the very least put a lot of pressure onto it. But with the full respawn coming back for Keanu Reeves and 16 just around the corner, I do want to see Yikes S tier back off a bit here. The last thing they want to do is stagger out deaths on a push that's more or less unnecessary. They got a lot of value out of that last objective. They were designed not to win in that instance already. Bosses looks to be what is being looked at. That mid keep is almost gone. And even if they just get this camp here, it might even just passively push that keep down. So the scout does come through. I think they were looking at it, but I think if the full rotation is coming on at even talent tiers, they probably don't want to. And actually, they didn't go for it. They were just looking for... they were just trying to bait a fight there.
Time for some action. Let's free our soldiers and take the fight to the horde.
And they're still looking at it. They really want to bait them into this, and Zanaris is already here. In fact, he's way ahead of his team, and that's actually going to be a problem. He's going to have to drop Earthquake, but he's going to die. And that's actually a really bad spot. Good silence coming out, but the sound barrier coming in, making sure that they don't take any extra damage there. The thing might get leashed, but they're still going on to Stitches, but ETC gets hooked into the stun, and that's actually a bad spot for... the Yikes S tier, but in the end, the health bars are very much in favor of Yikes S tier. All that damage coming in from the Junkrat and the Li Ming is just too much poke for them to deal with, so they trade 1 for 1. Thrall will be up sooner, but that boss did get value, and this top fort keep is gonna go down. So all of that time they bought on that boss actually ended up being a really good play because it ended up actually securing them top keep. And while this boss most likely can't kill Core, if you've got 2 lanes pushing in with catapults, or whatever these minions things are you want to call them, and a boss on top of that, it could definitely still do a significant amount of damage, enough to even make Yikes S tier decide to go for a Core call. So instead, they're just going to get their mid camp out. The boss is low enough that the Core should just be able to beat it up. But that lane is super pushed out. Top lane has catapults going into it now, every single wave spawn, and that's going to push in really hard. The mid lane has a camp without a counter camp in it, and that means someone has to deal with this, where this thing's going to actually take out the mid keep as well. But we can see Yikes S tier positioning for this channel, and Keanu Reeves figuring that if they lose objective here, it's over. A early mosh pit gets interrupted quite quickly. And now John Knight 1 is pretty low. He's going to heal himself up, and I think the York's going to go down here. He does manage to ghost walk himself out of danger. But the channel is still going through. And so even without getting any kills, the health bar is going down super low. They do get a kill onto Jet, though, and that is a good turn of events for Keanu Reeves. And the channel is no longer going, so they might actually be able to move in on this. But that mid camp is going to take that keep. And this is going to channel for at least a few more seconds. And the thing is Yikes S tier can definitely stall out this next objective using Junkrat, Irel, and Lucio. Probably long enough, that 40 seconds. And yeah, that mid camp took it, and it's going to actually be pushing in here. And balance is super low. This is going to be hard for him to clear out without taking a massive amount of damage. And of course, I was blinked away, and Stitches went down. And that was the other thing too. The health bars were super low on the side of Keanu Reeves, and I think Thrall's going to die here. Yeah. And they don't get the trade out. John Knight drops his armor just to make sure that any of the follow-up damage doesn't kill him. And I think with this many kills, the objectives even is a non-issue. They can just basically go right for core. No more armor left onto it. Bottom lane is pushing up hard. Yorick has healed himself back up, but I think it's still just a non-issue. It's going to be GG. And Yikes S tier taking game number 3 and securing their victory. No domination. And they managed to get the victory here over Keanu Reeves, which has been undefeated up to this point and has actually played matches. So Yikes S tier definitely making a statement, though Keanu Reeves definitely traded out one map. The Towers of Doom game was heavily in their favor. So definitely wasn't a one-sided matchup at all. But I think on this map and on Battlefield Eternity, Yikes S tier just had the upper hand in so many different ways that it seemed pretty clean. Those are your end of game statistics, and I'll try to get someone in to the chat. Let's see if we can get a interview up and running here. Let me change up some things here. And then change logo. Oh geez, that does not look. Oh, right. How's it going? Looks like I need to change something up. All right, now you should be good. Alrighty, Yikes S tier coming in for their official first match of the season against Keanu Reeves, who was undefeated up to this point. How you guys feeling after that match victory?
Feel pretty good about game 1, 2, 3. 2 was kind of a disaster. Just stuff happened.
Yeah, I was saying game number 2, the Malthiel Blaze matchup seemed a little bit rough for you.
I just couldn't. I don't know. Just the team was having a little bit of issues bottom, and we couldn't quite get the connections all the way there, and it was just a problem. We haven't really played on towers much, so that was kind of an issue. Whereas, actually, we haven't played much on Alterac, but we have a good understanding of Alterac. But yeah, I don't think we've ever. I think we played maybe one game together as the 4 of us on towers. So I'm not too surprised by that.
Yeah, like I understood that they were being aggressive with the Malthael because he could win the 1v1, and the idea probably was just to stall out long enough that your bottom 4 wins the bot lane and then comes up for the rotation. But unfortunately, that set you guys behind, and then despite some aggressive plays, which you guys were heading kills in the first part of the map, you just kind of ended up getting behind in experience in rotations, and I think that it started to snowball against you guys a bit.
Yeah, it was just I was just up there soaking, and everybody died, and it was like, oh, it's one of those games.
I would say that ETC was a pretty big factor in all 3 games, as he's the one hero that won all 3 games. How are you feeling about that hero in particular, and did it become a priority for you in Game 3, mostly because of the effect it seemed to have had in Game number 2, or just generally speaking, if you can get a hold of it, you try to?
So Game 1, I kind of was going in a melee draft direction for the flex role for Mason Blaze to put him on I was thinking like Thrall, but I wound up going Alarak because Alarak was really good into what I was seeing, and that's just a really good map. And ETC and Blaze was just a natural synergy, so we went that direction. Game 3 was more I wanted Junkrat really bad, and I wanted some sort of other hero that could like do some ranged damage because I thought we needed that that control of just doing damage, and ETC was just the best pick at kind of doing that. Like for what they picked early, and I thought we needed ETC early. In hindsight, Garrosh would have been a better pick if I knew what they were going to pick next, but it wound up not being a big deal at all.
No, I mean, I think the ETC still played out pretty well. You got some good mosh pits, lots of good, applied a lot of good aggression and helps peel at your team when things were going negatively for you. So, I mean, I think it was a good pick in all 3 games and had plenty of good effect. Now, the Alterac pass Diablo ban in the 3rd phase, was that a response due to me getting bodied by it last time when I was playing Junkrat?
No, that was just because like Die was like, yeah, Die was actually like our big fear, and they kind of went like not dive, but like the stitches stuff, which
in hindsight we would have banned that Diablo if I knew that it would be such a massive threat in some of those situations.
Yeah. To be honest, like I felt like I don't want to say they drafted, like I feel like the Uriel pick that I did kind of countered everything that they wound up picking in the 4-5 or like at the end of the draft, because I don't know, like Uriel's kind of an underrated hero right now with all the changes. Like she went from like mid tier to like top tier basically. She's insane again, which is funny because last time I was in NGS she was top tier and I was spamming her as much as I could.
Would you say righteous momentum is the major factor?
Kind of. Well, I would say it's the biggest, but I wouldn't say it's the only reason. Like all of her level 7s, all of her level 13s are good. She has, like I would say Sacred Ground has gotten just the way the meta's changed and how you can play your L now. Like I think Sacred Ground is so good now. Like you saw on that point when they invaded us, like I popped it right away, and I was actually both times on the points when they invaded our camp and when they invited the second boss that we were taking. I got so much value out of that. It's just such an insane talent.
Yeah, Thrall getting booped over the wall too into the waiting hands of Lucio Ming didn't really help out a lot there either. So Junkrat actually got a lot of really good mines in on that map and actually caused a lot of problems for the backline, or quote unquote backline of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, it was a luxury to have, Basin Blaze and NGS Legend sub in for us, because he's like, I've seen him solo win games. He's just insane. He does stuff that like you shouldn't be able to do. I don't know. It was actually nuts having him sub in. But yeah, honestly, I thought the whole team, other than game 2, were just like we just kind of had stuff go awry and we couldn't really recover. I thought the whole team did really well. Like Shredder was doing real good, controlling vision, looking for picks. Jet was having some amazing, like late game, both games, he was just calling targets, boom, 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 and they're just dying. And he was just going in, killing them. Just nonstop, and Cubico was like his heals were so instrumental in keeping me up that last game. I was dead to rights like 90 times. I didn't die. Yeah, that was a real fun set.
All 3 games were entertaining. It was good to see. It was definitely all high tier play. from start to finish on all 3 matches. Like I said, Keanu Reeves was undefeated up to this point. But looking forward, who are the big teams you're watching out for? Who do you think you can beat? Who do you think is going to give you trouble?
I think we could beat anybody. I think we could lose to a lot of teams too, so we can't like get too high. One team that like scares me right now is I think Amazing, because like I don't know, like the combination of Hunter, Camille, and Gromit. That's like oof. That's like 3 god tier players right there. I think I've tried to poach all 3 of them at different points when I was forming a team or trying to get on a team. So it's funny that they all formed a team together. And then obviously CTV, they're the it's their yard until someone else takes it from them,
Basically, yeah.
At least in NGS. And I don't know, is there another team? The team with Carbon on it, I think missed most skill shots. I think they're playing right now, actually.
Yeah, miss most skill shots is currently the highest point getter. CTV had a forfeit, so they aren't actually sitting at the top. Although mechanically speaking, they're probably, and just generally speaking, probably one of the are probably still going to threaten the top spot, despite that forfeit. Like I said, I think you make a good point that Amazing is something that should be pretty good. I think they dropped to Archon though in a 2-1 series, so maybe the synergies aren't quite coming together as nicely as they like to have. So, I imagine if you guys get your Towers of Doom cleaned up, you'll have a decent chance.
Yeah, Archon's another team. They got some people like JTR is really good. I don't know. There's the talent is. I thought the talent would be better than last season because last season a lot of teams I think didn't play. Like I know I didn't play just because I was focused on Div S and trying to qualify for that, but like the talent is so much higher than I thought it was. Like it's so crazy because I skipped last season. I was in Heroic, which was technically the second lowest division 2 seasons ago, and just the skill level, like it's compared like Heroic Div. I guess that season's Div A this season. Like Div A is like so much better than it was when I played it. It's like night and day. Like everyone's gotten so much better in NGS. It's actually insane to see. I used to like really run down lanes and just hard lane lanes and just hard win as an offlaner, and I'm not doing that anymore.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up. I've got into the stream in about 23 minutes. So if you have any shout outs, now's your time.
All right. So I'm going to do all my shout outs. Shout outs to all my teammates, Jet, Cubico, Shredded. I guess obviously Mason Blaze for subbing into us, the god. I guess I also got to shout out Cubico again just because he didn't let me die. And, I got to treat the healer with extra respect. They're extra sensitive, Shout outs to Electra and Zarmeg or subs. Shout outs to the other team, man. I was on Sanctified Live stuff with Kelsier, Xenaris, and Humane Blaze, and they're fantastic players. It was actually really fun playing against them. Kind of brought back a lot of good memories. And shout out to you for casting. Shout out to everyone watching. Yeah, and shout out to NGS. I'm so excited to be back, man. Like not being at NGS for 10 months. Like I didn't realize how much I missed it until like this morning. I like went to work and then I got back from work. I was like, dude, I'm so excited for NGS. Oh, and lastly, shout out to Valk's mom.
Of course.
I gotta spread the meme to all the
I'm glad
divisions.
we can keep that meme rolling in even Heroic Division.
Yeah.
All right.
He was adding me to shout out his mom, so I had to do it too. I was already planning on doing it.
Well, there you go. Anyways, thanks for showing up here, John Knight. I appreciate the combo, and congratulations on the win. And I'll try to catch more of your guys' games.
All right, see you, Ziltoid.
Peace. And that is going to be it for me tonight, guys. No, it's not. I actually have another cast here in about 20 minutes, so I might be having a co-caster come along for that game as well, which will probably help out a bit. So just stick around. I will be closing down the stream just slightly so I can change all this stuff like that and keep it nice and separated so that when it goes into VODs, it'll be a lot easier. So again, anybody that hasn't already, please follow, subscribe if you've got your Twitch Prime and you've got nowhere else to put it. And I'm also happy with any types of biddies or donations. Tip jars at the bottom. And we'll see you back here in about 20 minutes. Thanks so much, guys. Peace out.